Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video we're going to be doing a get ready with me. I'm going to do some makeup on my face and talk about the recent horror movie that I watched and my feelings about that horror movie. And I want to do it like a chatty get ready with me because I tried to make some notes about it, but it just got so bogus, and I was like, if I go down this route, we'll have another ice palace in our hands. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just chat. Like, I'm just your friend over telling you about, a movie that I watched that you have not seen. Let's just imagine, or you've seen it. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm just going to tell you my feelings about it and how it applies to everything else in maybe my daily life, and it could connect with your daily life as well. But I just want to chat about this movie I watched and put some makeup on my face. How about that? My name is King. Grab a glass of juice or any drink of your choice and enjoy today's video. Okay, so what I usually do, because I'm not seeing well enough without my glasses, I have this eyeshadow, this palette mirror that I use for close-ups to see what I'm doing. So I'll be looking in this mirror a lot. And first of all, I want to shape. Usually I would shape this brows here, but I don't want to the raw feeling of the razor. I don't like it. I don't feel like experiencing that. So the movie I want to talk about now, let's get on with it. The movie I want to talk about is Late Night with the Devil, and I know a lot of people have watched it. Okay, I was looking for it all of last year, but I couldn't find it from my source. Anyways, so this dog, what do I want to do? Mary Kay foundation. It has what, semi coverage, medium coverage, yes. So now the thing about Late Night with the Devil is that something about his face, yeah. What is that his name said? He has one kind of face like this that I really believed, like I really bought into. Ew, ugh, water that's melted. I really bought into the fact that he was like, this guy could actually be a late night host, yeah, in real life, because he reminded me of this guy, that Jimmy Fallon of a guy, the whole effusive laughter, how you can't help but catch his awkward moment on screen. And it's like somebody like Conan now. I don't think I've ever gotten a moment where I felt secondhand cringe watching clips of him. And I don't watch his show. It's not like I take time out to watch Conan, but I don't have moments where, oh, this guy is giving me secondhand cringe the way I do with Fallon, yeah. So, and I used to think maybe, well, let's just allow Fallon because he's what, it's part of his job. He has to force a smile or something. But it's like other people don't used to force smile. Like, I don't think you have to force a smile, but I digress. Anyways, this Late Night with the Devil is about a guy. What's his name? Why do I always forget? Jack. His name is Jack Delroy. Hello, Mr. Delroy. that girl helped me remember it. So I want to talk about Jack as a character. Jack is somebody that the way they narrated it is like as if like they didn't expect, like he was ambitious here. He wanted to be at the top, but it's like a lot of, he didn't fit in. I think like he wasn't somebody that everybody expected to do well. When I mean everybody, I don't mean the audience. I mean like his colleagues, the people in the business already. They're like, maybe he's just an upstart, that sort of thing. But he did do well enough to get signed by a major corporation, the NBC or something. And when they signed him on, we now saw where he was invited to a secret cult. They said it's a club for only old men, and I'm assuming it's mostly white men that food are caught. So Jack is a white man. Anyways, he's invited to the cult and he's blowing up everywhere. He's rich. His show is doing so freaking well. So he goes to the court, and people are like, what happened? Like they were people are the news, the media is curious, but like is a court that nobody else. Like you only get there on invite. Anyways, fast forward, and his wife is diagnosed with cancer, and it's terminal, and she's going to die in a few. So she's on the show, and he's holding his hand, and it's kind of like a goodbye, to the public as well. Anyway, she dies, and after she dies, like he goes on this, he has this bender, like a drinking bender. He becomes an alcoholic, and he's unrecognizable, blah blah blah, and takes a break, and he shows thanks, basically. So like he shows on his last legs, blah blah blah, and now he wants to save his show with one last event. Like he plans that this show is going to be the ultimate like comeback for him, and all of that. He's going to pull all the stops. So on his show, he has this his studio assistant, Mr. Goss. That Mr. Goss is like, I don't know if people watch Wendy, and like those people that are cameramen that she speaks to, like the senior cameraman that she speaks to and chats with on the stage, aside the audience. So Mr. Goss is like a studio assistant. So Mr. Goss is there now, and me, I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, I don't see court now. I'm already getting a hint of something, something, something. In this, actually, the way the show is set up, is the way the movie is going, is like somebody's unearthing the tapes of what happened in this comeback show, because apparently maybe it's a secret or something, or people do not know, or like somebody's trying to like expose it to us, the public. Anyways, one thing about this foundation, it makes me look very orange. I have concealer here. So this Baba, now this Jack Delroy, everything is set up. So the first thing he does is to of course he taps into the show happens on a Halloween night, and he taps into the sorcery, magic, witchcraft kind of thing, effects that he sees the mirror. He taps into that he wants to tap into that energy. So like not energy as in out connect to the darkness, out connect to witchcraft or sorcery or occult. He's tapping to that energy as in he wants to bring a different sort of content to his audience. You get, so he's going to bring in this occult kind of energy to the viewers at home, because it's not something that happens on everybody else's show. So obviously he's thinking maybe this would do something for his ratings, bring attention for his ratings. Anyways, he tries it. So he invites, I'm not sure anything happens mostly, like I can't remember if anything happened. I watched this thing last night. I can't remember anything, but I remember Mr. Crystal. So Mr. Crystal is brought onto the stage, and Mr. Crystal is a mononymous, we don't know more than his first name, Crystal, and he's a medium. He communicates with the dead, actually, both animals, human beings, all of that, missing families, missing family members, all of that stuff. So he comes to the stage, he's invited on the stage, and Jack kind of prompt him. So he goes around asking people about random things. So the first thing he does, he asks about somebody, and it's not a hit, like it does not connect with anybody. So it's like as if, oh, this is a farce. But then the second one he does, he actually hits somebody, like he has a target. These people in the audience, two women, they lost their brother's son. Like the sister is there, the mother is there, and he calls the name of the brother, says the brother is saying he's sorry because the brother took his own life in a suicide, and they've been dealing with the guilt and the grief all these years, and it's kind of touching because it's like the brother, the crystal has information that nobody would have except they are close enough to the family. Even the sister doesn't know this information, but the mother knows it, and it's the toy that this boy always carried around as a child named Papa, and it's like, is Papa okay, blah blah blah. And the mother is like, you won't have to worry about Papa, that Papa is fine. And it's like, yes, him too, you can see that Papa is fine. So everybody's wild, like, wow. Even Jack has on this stunned expression, and she's like, whoa, this is real. And then Crystal is going back to say everybody's clapping and they're in awe because there's a live studio audience here. So there's clapping and like woo woo, So before he can settle down, the lights, begins to shake, and then Crystal is held, he's held captive by a different presence, and this presence calls themselves Minnie, and he's like, who is Minnie? Who is Minnie? This energy is intense, this energy, and I'm watching, I'm horrified, like, what is going on with Mr. Crystal now? Like, are we going to have a haunting here and now? Like, it's just how many minutes into the movie, I'm scared. I was not scared, but like, that thing where you don't want things to go wrong, like you just really, because somehow I was kind of rooting for Jack Delroy. I always root for people that want to make a comeback, especially in their career. Like, I feel like everybody, not everybody, but like I feel like people, deserve to like be able to put their best foot forward, especially since this whole failure came on the heels of him losing his wife. So I was like, let things go well for this man now. We can't just have a haunting so early in the show. Anyway, Minnie is like struggling to be heard, and she's bending and contorting Crystal's body, and it's on the floor struggling to breathe. And it's like, Minnie, who is Minnie? Please, who is Minnie? The force is like evil and all of that. And Crystal is on the ground, like, struggling to breathe, and Jack is just there like, ooh. But Jack does not say anything. Then they go for commercial breaks, you get, and then everything stops, it ceases. Jack is not saying anything, and Crystal stands up and he's like, the force is too much. Like, he's reeling from the effect, as a medium, you carry, apparently, according to how they work, you carry the energy of the ghost side. So if the ghost has this like vengeful, or is like, mean-spirited, you are going to carry that energy in your own body as a medium. So anyways, next guest on stage that is invited is this person called Mr. Carmichael. And Mr. Carmichael is world renowned. He's so fucking rich. He's world renowned for his sleight of hand. He does magic. So he practiced magic so wonderfully for so many years that he now went down to the other side of being a skeptic, because he knows all the tricks. He's not impressed by anything. He feels everything is fake. And so he said he opened up a lab where they investigate into real poltergeist, real ghosts, real witchcraft, and all of those kind of sorcery kind of things. And so far he has not seen anything that is impressive. So he's very jaded and cynical, to his peers, to his colleagues, that he was once a member of. So he's invited on the stage, and the first thing he does after the break is over, so the first thing he does is to like completely, and Crystal is sitting right beside him here. So the first thing he does is to completely call Crystal's whole thing a sham. He's like, please, we know this effect, we know that effect, we know this effect. And he's making sense enough that Jack's like, yeah, the audience too, they're like, it's true, all those kind of things. But Crystal is insistent that you don't understand, blah blah blah. So Jack is like, but hold on, I have something to say. Now, this Minnie he's talking about is actually a private nickname I used to call my wife, Madeline. And the idea of an unmarried man with a ring, because Crystal also mentioned that he now put up his hand because his wedding ring was still on his hand, but his wife is dead. So he's like, he's not married, but he has a ring on his finger. So Jack is like, Carmichael is like, come on, please be real. Are we children here? That kind of stuff. Like, you can't do this to me, I'm a pro. So all of that is going on, and he's like, I give you, he brings out a check. It's like he has been carrying this check out for the better part of a decade. If it's not a decade, you guys should not blame me. If it's not, I'm not exaggerating. I'm just trying to remember the details, but he says that carrying his check around for $100,000 for a very long time, looking for a person that's going to impress him, prove to him that yes, this thing is turning very white, I'm scared. Prove to him that yes, all these things are real, but he has not seen anyone. All of them he has been able to disprove, show that it's not real. So what do you want from him? And this guy is saying, Crystal is saying, me, I don't care about your money. All I care about is this energy. And he's coughing, he's uncomfortable. He's still coughing like huge hacking breath, and everything is like going on. So something happens. I think Crystal at that point, by the time he's trying to speak or something, he hacks up some black gooey liquid and it splashes all over Carmichael's jacket on the table on the set, and they call for a break, and cleanup comes in, and it's this live studio. Cleanup comes in and cleans up the whole shebang, the whole mess. And Carmichael like, oh, what is all this nonsense, blah blah blah. Like, can you imagine? Eventually they rush Crystal outside because he's still coughing and he's serious. So they're like, okay, let's call an ambulance. Now, something has to notice that there is a studio executive monitoring all of this, and the studio executive checks in with Jack to like put the pressure on him to, guy, keep your game tight though, because this is make or break. Like, if we don't get out of, if we don't get the ratings there that we want, it's over for us, and especially your show is going to be axed, like cut. So Baba is feeling the pressure. Just for 10 minutes. So Baba is feeling the pressure, but he's also feeling bolstered because this executive is telling him to go on, ramp up the heat, blah blah blah. Baba say okay. Jack says okay, I will ramp up the heat. And then the next thing that comes up is like Jack now introduces a new segment. In this segment, he plays out a documentary. And again, after Crystal is taken into an ambulance, to the hospital, Mr. Goss, all the while he's watching all this, and there's a bit of, there's this kind of feeling you have that something is weird, and he tries to talk to Jack, but Jack is like, guy, behave yourself, because at the end of the day, as assistant, he's like kind of like a prop you get for Jack to like set up for jokes. He's the punchline of every joke or bottom of every joke, and he's kind of saying like this harmless stooge you get in the show as part of the production. So because of that, now even in real life, when he's expressing real concerns, Jack does not take him serious. Jack does not listen to him. Jack's like, do you want us to lose our jobs? This show is the only thing, like, we could lose this entire show if you don't stop it. So Crystal is taken to the ambulance. He's taken to the hospital, and they now start a new segment, and then there's now like a documentary style video is played for the audience and the viewers, as they are sitting in the studio. The documentary talks about a cult that was broken into, like a cult that was dispersed by it was started by a man, of course, started by a man, a white man, and he called their god, it's not God, it's Satan. They worship Satan, and the Satan name is Abraxa. Do you get? So they worship Satan and nobody's disturbing them until one day there begins to be suspicions of like actual crimes going on in this cult. So the FBI busts them, and after a 3-day hostage situation, or face-off situation, they break into the compound and they arrest the man, and they found evidences of child trafficking, SA, all of those things, and it's really bad for the guy. There's no way it's making it out. You get? I was trying to do my nose thing, but like I have forgotten and I'm concentrating on the movie. So I think that's enough. Let's put on eyeshadow now. So now the thing here is like they arrested the cult leader here, but everybody had died already, like the children, and also they were able to save one little girl. Her name is what? June. No, June is the name of the doctor handler. Her name is, what's her name? Let's just give her, I don't remember her name, but let me just give her a fake, like a name from my head or from the top of my head. Her name is Titi. So Titi is saved as a child, and she's rehabilitated by this doctor that calls her, like this. Her name is Dr. June. So Dr. June has been her, what do you call it, her caregiver, and her like kind of a psychiatrist, kind of nursing her back to humanity, because the girl was found catatonic. You understand what that means? Catatonic, like she's not responsive to any form of stimuli outside, like externally. She's just like mute and could not talk. So this doctor worked with her for years. Like I think she was like 9 years old. How old? Until she became like maybe 12 or 13. She has grown now. So like she has grown. I want to use this thing I swatched. I don't have my glasses. You see it on my face. I tried to swatch it, but like I can't show it on the camera. I don't know why. My hand cannot contort. So is this palette is very controversial because it's just powder, but I'll manage it. I'm using this color and this color, these two colors. So June has more or less been her parent and caregiver and medical help, all these years. So she has gotten Titi to the point where Titi can actually interact with her outside environment, but she's still very volatile. And also, Titi has this spirit inside of her, this demon inside of her that they've not been able to exorcise. And one thing about June is that she's not like a your typical professional psychiatrist here. She's a, what do you call this? What did she call it? Parapsychological, in the sense that she does paranormal psychology. Like, she works with people that are possessed. Like, there's a research, she has a research all about it. They're a team and all that. And so she's like, okay, she's now a guest on the show. Jack invites June to come on the show with Titi, and Titi is obviously still volatile. She has to be handled with care, but she's excited to be there. She's very childlike. She didn't have a normal childhood, so she still behaves and presents like a child, not in all this like creepy, yeah, wait, though. She has this presentation that you not expect for somebody that is like 13 or 15 even. Yeah, she's like naive. She doesn't have any social training whatsoever. So she sits in a, like, when the lights come on the studio on her, the audience sees her, she's looking at the camera like this. And Jack is laughing like, oh, come on, Titi, like, you don't have to look at the camera, you can look at me, don't worry. So it's like cute and adorable, and she's like very open. She's not, she's showing like at least the minimum level of adjusted, like she's adjusted to like people sha. But June is kind of apprehensive, you get. So as she's sitting down there, remember, Carmichael is still there. Carmichael is watching all of this, and June starts to talk about how baby girl is Titi is beset by all these months, like this demon, and Carmichael like, oh, please, come on, you are controlling and taking advantage of a young child with parading her around like with your power of suggestion and hypnosis. Like, we all can do that, I know this thing, you get. And June is like, no, that what are you talking about? This is a real thing. This girl grew up to say, I know she grew up, she had a horrible upbringing, a horrible childhood, but that does not mean you should now make her the subject of your nonsense phony research and then parade her as if she's just a child. Stop taking advantage of her. And June is like affronted, and Titi is like, you know what, let's show Dr. Carmichael. And June is like, no, we can't do this. This environment is too volatile. There's cameras, there's crowd. You're not used to all of this. How do you like the shade of? It's not showing up very well, yeah. That's how this makeup is. This eyeshadow, this palette is. So it's not pigmented, but we'll work with it. Anyways, Titi is like, no, let's show him, because she's like trying to like, because in a way, if you say she's not possessed by a demon, it kind of feels like you are invalidating her trauma. Do you get? You're kind of speaking over her experience, and that's not even how to do it. You get what is wrong with that codgy old man, this Mr. Carmichael. It was very annoying to me, but at the end of the day, not at the end of the day, but as he kept on speaking, I kind of sided with him a bit, not entirely, but I was like, yeah, it's true. Like, you're taking advantage of this girl. You are riding her around as a show pony. For what? To what end? Are they paying you? Even if they're paying you, your research institute should be supporting you well enough to not need to come on late night shows, because once you put her out there and you show off this demon possession, people are going to want to invite her to things. She will not become like this circus act. You get, and you are saying you are helping her, you are only parent, sort of, you've been there for her, blah blah, and you love her so much. It's like, that's not love. And it kind of reminds me of this YouTube epidemic. This YouTube is it epidemic where parents put their children on blast from birth to like when they can run away from them. Say they are doing family content, like stupid people. So before we get to all those thought processes, let me just narrate the story. So Titi is put on a chair, the lights are brought down. But before they say they want to meet the demon. Yeah, they take a studio break, and everybody's going around the studio. This guy is having real apprehension. Mr. Goss, nobody takes him serious. The studio executive is like, okay, so are we doing this? And Jack says yes. Then the studio executive now say, I want you not to tell anybody, but Mr. Crystal is dead. Eh? What do you mean dead? Said he was hemorrhaging from every part of his body, from every, like, all the orifices of his body, before they got to the hospital, and the ambulance medics could not control the hemorrhaging, so he died. And Jack is like sweating, full on sweating, and he's like, okay, waiting the shell right now. Like, what is going on? So Mr. The executive is not like, oh, that's not an excuse for you to slack. Oh, I'm just telling you, you have to keep it. You have to keep this going. If not, we'll lose everything. You want to lose your show? Blah blah blah. We're already at the home run. Let's just finish this show up, and we'll be home free. Jack is a bit disturbed. He's like, meaning, and they say, please don't go all screwy on me. Oh, don't start telling me about meaning or whatever. Oh. Don't even try it. Me, I don't want to hear it. You know what the ratings are? Stay on course. Blah blah blah. Jack is like, okay, no wahala. He swallows his apprehension, his fear, and all of that. And it's like, yes, I want to do this. I want to get my show back. And when I'm watching Jack, I'm like, should I? Let me continue, Sha. So Baba goes back on, and now June, Titi is strapped to a chair, literal metal, like psychiatric patient strap. So they strapped her hands and her legs to a chair, and she's sitting there. The lights are dim low. Those kind of setting are magical settings where you want to perform something, and it's early Halloween period, yeah. So everything is set, and June is in front of her, because it's only June that can call out the demon. So before they start, June is asking Titi if she's okay. Titi is like, yeah, I'm fine. It's like, okay, so what is this thing like? She said his name is Mr. Riggles, and Jack is like, why do you call him Mr. Okay, that was before this chair thing, before they strapped her to the chair, when they were conducting the interview. At first, he asked her like, what's the name of the demon? And she's like, his name is I call him Mr. Riggles. And Jack's like, why? I said, because he sort of wriggles his way into your mind, and you can't get him out, and he's just there. And it's just, the way she talks about it is so sad. Like, Mr. Riggles, wriggling, and just like making me feel a lot of things, but I'll get to it after I tell you the story. So, I've gotten down to it's just 26 minutes. I tried. I've gotten down to now we're at the interview stage, Carl Michael is there in the back, huffing and puffing like, oh, come off it, blah, blah, blah. So, this is a nice shade. I wonder if it shows up in the camera. So, let's put the shine on it. So, June is facing Titi, and Titi is looking at her, and all of that. And then June starts to speak to her and tell her, like, can we meet Mr. Riggles? So Titi goes into some kind of trance, and then as Mr. Riggles is manifesting, her face changes completely, bro. Like, there's this huge scar on her, from her top lip running to her nose. Her face widens into kind of like edges, boxy. It's no longer the face of a child, it's the face of an average adult male. It's hard, her nose is big, everything is odd. And then her hair that is finely combed and everything turns into this scraggling mess, like it's wet and dirty, it's in strands. And then he bends such a way that is covering, both eyes, and he refuses to look up. So when he meets June, he's like, hi June, and his voice is of a deeper register, like, hi June. And June is looking at him with so much apprehension, and Mr. Riggles is laughing. Then when he says hi June, the audience does, oh, it's like, looks around, everybody's in the dark, but you can see them. Like, what is this? Who are these people? Why are we here? So to me, that kind of established this thing that made me feel like it's like June and Mr. Riggles, they've established this rapport between each other where they're used to each other, they're comfortable with each other. He's a demon, but he gets along with June as much as a demon can get along with a normal any human being. But when he sees all those like externalities, he's like, wait, what is going on here? And he's angry. Then he now senses somebody and he looks over to the host side of the studio, of the stage, and he's like, Jack, is that you? I remember you, Jack. Nice to see you again, Jack. And Jack is like, I don't think I've made your acquaintance before. He's like, oh, but you know me, Jack. Michael is huffing and puffing like, ugh, what is that, please? So, anyways, he starts to talk to June, and June is talk with June, and June is like asking him some kind of questions. They're going back and forth, and every time the audience tries to like react, June tries to. Every time the audience reacts, as like one would react something paranormal, she tries to shush the audience, not to scare him or whatever. And then they get to talking, and then Mr. Riku starts to say that, June, so that is why you brought me here, eh? Because of Jack, yeah? Don't you know that he will do the same thing he did with her to you? The body up in the trees in the wood. Now, something about that culture you have to know is that everybody knows where they do their meetings. It's one place in the forest, in the wood. So he mentions that place, and it's like, the Mr. Riku says, the body in the woods, like, you're just going to end up like one of those girls. Don't you see that he's using you? And it's so pitiful in this moment, because in my heart, as I was watching, I was feeling for Mr. Riku. Like, do you think Mr. Riku had a crush on June? Or Mr. Riku had a sense of protectiveness towards June? Or maybe he cares about her because he's used to her, and it's like, I don't want you to get in the hands of this slimy old man, Jack. Jack is not an old man, but still. Like, I don't get in the hands of this slimy man, June, like, don't be a fool and all of that. And she's just like saying all these things. Instead of her to find a way to regulate the whole control the conversation, like they are the professional here, she gives Mr. Riggles the biggest slap ever that turns his face to the side. And I'm like, that is so stupidly unprofessional. Like, okay, you're the one that's getting down and dirty with this TV host. Why does this little girl have to pay for your nonsense? And I have to wonder about the other sessions that they have in private. What if Mr. Rigu steps over the line? Does she take out her frustrations on June's body, on her physical body? Like, that is so freaking, and that was so freaking annoying to watch. And that's how you know that these people don't care about so-called children that they are rehabilitating. They just probably see them as experiments, to prove something, to milk something out of them. This is a real child going through trauma. You understand? And you're taking advantage of them, encouraging their psychosis just to get something out of it. But that's not for now. Anyway, the point is, she slaps Mr. Riggles, and everybody like, oh, and she stands up and she's heated and she's like, don't do this. And then Mr. Riggles starts to like laugh, and June comes back. Like, no, it begins to escalate. Mr. Riggles is angry, and he starts to like try to contort this body into some kind of inhumane, like otherworldly proportions, and she immediately brings out this sacred stone from her neck and starts to quote something in Latin to him, and eventually he's pushed back inside and Titi comes out. Do you get? Titi manifests, and she comes out and she's crying, and June is like, I'm so sorry, but at this point Titi is like pushing away her efforts to comfort her. And it's just so weird. It's like an abusive dynamic. Do you get? It's like, this is just plain child abuse. I beg, this is just plain child abuse. And because she's a woman now, in this movie is set in the 70s. Let me now remind you, I don't think I said it, but it's set in the 70s. So they take another studio break. That whole event, at some point Titi was Mr. Rigu started levitating the chair that they were strapped to with himself on it, and everybody was like screaming, and the lights were like, the staff were going crazy, like, where did they go on? So after, when June succeeds in bringing back Titi to the front and everything stops and she comes back down to the ground, like, they now take a break, and like all the old staff, they're like anxious. They're like, oh my, this is not what we signed up for. Like, what is all this? And you know, in the 70s, there was this in America, there was this, I don't know if it was the 70s, but there was this religious frenzy, you know, where everything was devil, where everything was witchcraft, everything was, you know, paranormal. Oh, hauntings, the children and cultists are going to take your children's life. Oh, the devil is going to do this to your children. Oh, this is a devil, you're a devil, this child is a devil. This, like, the friends also, it was very normal for the staff to react that way, you get, because I was like, is it that all of them believe, you know, but like, it was very normal for the show. But Jack was doing his best to calm down, and then they were not supposed to, the news of Mr. Crystal's death was supposed to spread, but Gus heard of it somehow and was like, I know that Crystal is dead, I want out, I want to leave, this is not what we signed up. And Jack is still persuading him like, you better stay, blah blah blah, if you leave now everybody's going to fall apart, what is that? And Jack and Gus is like after this I'm leaving you, I'm done. It's like, let's just finish this thing. So that will show you the extent of how far Jack was willing to go, you know, to get this comeback. I think the eyeshadow is kind of fair enough. If it's not showing up when I wear my glasses, I'm going to add on more. Enough of the shadow, I think. There's no light. There's no light now. I'm sweating. Yeah, I should open that curtain. Anyways, they go back again, and when they come back, all the lights are on, and Carmichael is insistent. He's like a terrible nag at this point. He's like come on guys, like, you don't believe this crap, do you? Like, this is what we call hypnosis and suggestion. Like, oh my, I can't do this, blah, like, I can't do this, blood, like, just give me a subject and I will do the same thing she did. It's just the power of hypnosis and whatever. So they say, okay now. Jack say, okay now, try it with Gus. And Gus is like, hey, why is he always the person that never wants to be involved, that they always use as experiment? Anyway, Gus goes along with Carmichael's prodding, and then he sits on a chair, you know, the same setting is brought up, smoke effect, all of that, and then Carmichael makes him look into a timepiece that whirls and whirls into this hypnotic swirling all over, and it's swirling, and he puts everybody, because the thing is showing up on the monitors. He says they should show it up on the monitors as well, and it's showing up on the monitors too. So everybody sort of caught on that this Carmichael's suggestive suggestion and hypnosis. Everybody except Titi. Titi is just laughing at the whole thing. She's like, why is this man moving in a strange way, you get? So anyways, he put Gus under this suggestion whatever thing, and he says that, Gus, you have vermiphobia, you know. And then Gus begins to see worms come out of me. I didn't watch it though. I didn't watch it. I was like, no, it's not me. You give nightmare fuel, and it's not even nightmare fuel. It's like, I already have this intrusive thoughts thing a lot. I cannot add worms to it. I don't like worms, you know. I don't like worms. I don't know who likes worms, who can stand them. I don't like them, but I don't have a phobia. So, but I'm not going to now add images that are not even doing anything. Because I was like, if I watch it now, is it that Gus is going to explode with worms, and then to now be okay, that's what happened to Gus in the story in general? No, it's just a suggestion. I don't want to put that image in my head, so I covered my eyes. I covered the screen like this. I've not done that for years. Okay, I do that when I watch action movies now, because I don't like watching people get beat up unnecessarily, especially all those henchmen. I used to feel for them. Like, how much are they paying you? They can't be paying you that much to get your bodies broken into tiny little pieces. So same thing with Gus. I was like, I can't watch this. So, and Jack was disgusted. Everybody was horrified except Titi. Titi was not bothered though. So anyways, the whole plot, you know, everybody's horrified. The audience is screaming. The thing even comes out of his eye at some point, like the worm, and he's screaming and he's crying. And then he says this word. Carmichael says this word: awake, dreamer. You know, and Baba wakes up and finds himself half naked, like he has opened the shirt he opened the shirt in distress, removed his tie, threw off his jacket, he's sweating and he's kneeling on the chair, and it's like, wow, okay, this is embarrassing. This is the most embarrassed I've ever been. But he's awake and everybody's like, ooh. Everybody comes back to see that nothing is actually wrong with Gus. Nothing ever was wrong with Gus. It was just hypnosis and suggestion. And Jack is like, I don't believe it. I saw it, and I'm not the only one that saw it. Everybody's like, yes, we saw it. Everybody's agreeing. The staff is agreeing. Then Carmichael says, okay, you know what? Let's play back the tape and let's see what happened. And then they play back the tape and they realize that nothing's happening to Gus. It's all in his head, and the people that have been, hypnotized, that are watching, it's all in their head. And everybody's amazed, and it's like, I can't make it turns to June and says, see, it's not only he that can do this. So June, Titi is like, since Mr. Carmichael doesn't believe us, why don't we rewatch my own tape and see if nothing was happening, so that we can prove he really believe in the power of the camera. That's what she said to him, and he was like, yeah, let's see. And that's when everything goes to shit. Before this, they had a studio break where, everybody, the studio executives told him, we are in the, like, our ratings have gone so shot through the roof. We have 40% share of the network right now, blah blah blah, like, they're calling you, they're doing this, they're going to do this for you, and they're like drinking champagne. And still Jack is like, I feel kind of, what about me? Like, please don't even start, please, like, leave that thing alone. So back to the whole situation now, where Carmichael is watching. Everybody's now rewatching what happened to Titi and June. And in Titi and June's case, it's the same thing that they saw. It's the same thing that is showing up on the camera. So now what do we do about that, Mr. Carmichael? Mr. Carmichael is like, June is like, I don't want your money. This thing you're doing, money. I don't care about your money. I just want you to know that not everything is like that. Like, there are some things that are very real, blah blah blah. And Carmichael is kind of trying to, like, make it into something that is not like you guys are. He's trying to make them see like they are playing some kind of trick or something. I don't know about this contouring, man. Like, I was just trying something here. Let me just brush it. Let me just blend it. Anyways, when the camera starts to roll and everybody's saying that the same thing that they saw, the same thing that was happening on the camera, now everybody's fully convinced. Before they were like, maybe it's not true, but now everybody's fully convinced that things are not funny now. Like, something weird is going on, something weird is happening. And like 3 staff quit immediately, and it's like, should I put my camera here like this, my mirror here like this? Like, 3 staff quit immediately. I'm not saying 3 staff quit immediately and walked off the set. So what is left now? They are now like at the final leg of the movie, and like everything has gone to shit, in the sense like, once the camera start playing, Titi is now possessed and Mr. Rigus comes out in full force, and then he channels the self from the camera to the lights in the studio, and everything is exploding. And this guy Carmichael is there saying, I now know what it is. You, Mr. Jack, you are the one that is playing this game with everybody. You made them connect it with you, so I will not. So before that happens, they are replaying the tape, and they see, like, Jack sees something, and like, when they see something, like, wait, go back, and they start replaying the tape frame by frame, VHS and all of that, frame by frame. He now sees the ghost of his wife, Mimi, Madeline, and he freaks out together. And that's when, like, Mr. Rigus comfort and everything, like, boom, like, everything goes to hell. June is screaming and trying to convince Mr. Rigus to go back, but instead Mr. Rigus faces her, and that stone that she was using to so-called control the whole thing, he uses it to kind of like decapitate her. Can I say that? Decapitate her, and it's horrible, and everybody's screaming. And then Gus comes, on stage, and he's trying to, like, put this person down. He's trying to control the situation. Immediately Mr. Rigus twist his neck to the back, and that's the end of Gus. Like, can you imagine? Eh? Can you imagine? That's why I used to say, like, all this work you are doing, how much are they paying you? What something is just doing one kind. Baba, find your square root, oh. Find your fucking square root. You don't have to stay in scary situations. Say you are trying to survive. Trying to survive, and something, the work you are trying to do is trying to kill you. Like, do you see how you are contradicting yourself? It doesn't even make any sense at all. But that's not even my point, yeah. Anyway, the whole thing goes to shit. Mr. Carmichael sees all of this and he's like, I'm convinced, I worship you. You this demon, I worship you. I'll give anything in your service. He brings out his check of 500k. And I'll give it. That check is like, what do you call it? Extinguished. Like, no, incinerated. Yes, it's incinerated by electric current, and he's promptly roasted alive. That's what happens to Carmichael. He's roasted alive. You get. But for me personally, I agreed with Carmichael a lot, because I was like, you are, at the end of the day, you are still taking this advantage of this little child. You are talking Mr. Rigo, Mr. Rigo. You want people to believe you. Most people believe you. You already have a research institute that believes in you and is sponsoring your research with this child. Focus on that. Most people believe you. Must you prove yourself? If it's not that you want some kind of praise, some kind of fame, like as if you are somebody's savior, and that's why she got what she got. I won't say she deserves it. Nobody deserves to die in such a horrible way. Anyways, the studio executive comes and pulls Jack out of harm's way and like closes the door and closes the stage on all of the madness, and all the audience has fled the scene. Audio staff fled, left the camera rolling and all of that. Maybe that's how we got this tape. So when everything now kind of settles down, there's a look that Titi is giving Jack. Let me wear my glasses and see how far I've come. There's a look that Titi is giving Jack, and it's just very piercing. So now we enter the head of Jack. Like, we're now taking through kind of like a B-roll montage of Jack's head, Jack's inner world, and we see like different things. You see his wife sickly, her head is bad because of the cancer. We see, I'm not saying it like, what did I do? That makeup is so annoying sometimes. You see his wife being sickly and all of that. Let me put mascara. You see his wife being sickly, and Jack is there by her side, comforting her. And it's like, okay, so what is wrong here? What did Jack do? Because obviously the thing has been hinting that, because he keeps seeing Minnie's ghost here. So it's like Jack must have done something. I was like thinking like Jack did something. And I already could guess what it was he did. This allusion to joining a cult, this allusion to fame, and then his wife dying, and like him losing everything, is just like, he just keeps seeing it, and then he keeps seeing his wife until the point he has this dream sequence where he's by his wife's bedside and she's dying and she's in intense pain, and she's like, don't you love me? Kill me. And there's a dagger on the bedside. Now that dagger in the real world, that dagger, it was when they were trying to get the straps off Titi's body after the whole Mr. Rigo's thing, like before this madness. So they're trying to get it off of Titi's body, but it was hard to undo. So he just came with a dagger. It's a prop now, Halloween night and all, and he came with the dagger and he just cut the whole thing off of her wrist and her ankles. And in my mind, when I saw that dagger, I already knew it would be pivotal, it would be important. But I was like, guy, just give a stage hand to drop it backstage. Just give them. Like, why do you have to carry it? He even put it in front of him until somebody tells him, Jack, the dagger. He now put it by his side, and his side is directly where like Titi is here and the table is here, and he puts the dagger here on the table between both of them. And I was like, no. Wrong choice. But who will hear me now? Me, I'm far away. I'm watching what has already happened. So Baba now is in that dream sequence with his wife, and she's like crying. She's like, I'm in pain. Let this end. And him too is scared. She's like, you know what to do. She's like, I don't want to do it. He says, shut up. Do it for me. You know what? You know what you did. Like, you know what you did. Like, just let me go. Please. And then he takes the dagger and he stabs his wife, and she dies. And he opens his eyes to see that he has stabbed Titi, and everybody else around him is dead. He thought he left them and he was rescued from the stage, the madness. But he was actually still on stage with them, you know. And the way Titi looked in that murdered state looks like she was pressed, like she was strangled, like she was like she put up a fight. Do you get, before she was killed? So the title now kind of makes sense, like Late Night with the Devil. Like the devil was Jack Delroy all along. But now, here are my takeaways from the movie. So first things first is the idea of success. So I've made several videos of epiphanies I got from. I want to line my lips with this thing. I hope it turns out fine. I want to try this nude lipstick as well. So let me see how it goes before we start. And I haven't added on blush. So let's try to put on, my lips are dry, guy. Let's try to put on liner. So what do you think? Yeah, so first things first is the idea of success and its deservability. Now, Jack Delroy was an upstart in his field, yeah. He had the flair, the charisma of all late night hosts, but he didn't have the connections. I think he didn't have the connections to. There's another nude lipstick here. This one is kind of nude as well. He didn't have the connections. You get. It's not even about connection. I think it just didn't have the prospects basically. So it seemed like you'd have to work hard. And then he ended up doing well enough to get the attention of the network. You understand? So like, is that not something he should have given himself credit for? But I think getting that contract with the network put him under intense pressure, because he's like, if they give me this, let me finish this thing. Because the way it read to me was like he felt, since he was given this chance, this opportunity, like there was no freaking way that he would be able to keep their support. He probably believed that his success, his getting their attention and getting that contract was purely luck, and he would need to expand on that luck in such a way that it wouldn't be as fragile and fleeting as luck. So what did he do? He was invited by the big boys. And the big boys, the old boys, I mean, but they are the big boys of the industry now. He was invited by the big boys to join their secret society. And that secret society was they probably preached it to him that he would be guaranteed his place in the sun for a very long time. Okay, I don't like the way this thing looks. This color. So let me try this. Add this color to it. Let's see what it looks like. So he joins the cult, and in the dream sequence that follows Mr. Rigu's explosion, we see where certain men, in masks, push him to the center of somewhere, and it's a clearing in the forest, and he's facing a tall creature in an owl mask. The name of the show is Night Owl. Night Owl. So he's facing those creatures he's facing this creature with a mask, an owl mask on, and the owl is telling him to drink of the cup, and it's like a chalice. In the olden days, those kind of metal cups, the chalice, and he drinks of this chalice, and it seems like drinking it was very, very distressing for him. It wasn't easy for him to drink it, but he drank it. So I feel like the drinking might represent something else that he had to do, but we are seeing it as merely drinking from a cup. So you must clean the no. It's not easy to have double line lips, so don't smush. It doesn't look like this. Okay, I don't like the way it looks. It doesn't look good at all. This top lip doesn't look uniform. Let me wear my glasses first and see. So the see, it looks cute. Yeah, clean, fast. Yeah, thank you. So he, I don't know, my makeup kind of looks dull. I don't know. It does not look bright. So back to Jack. Let's add more powder. So back to Jack. He says I feel like, first of all, he didn't think he was deserving of that opportunity. So he felt like it was purely by chance he got it, and he needed to secure that opportunity, for life. Do you get? And how to secure it and joining a club. Now, in the real world, not everybody, will offer you. There's no like actual cult like that. And there may be some cult, but let me not speak too much on the weirdness of men or just people in general. Like, he felt he needed to do something more to expand, like he needed to do something more to secure his place in the spotlight. And that idea that once you make it, you need to make it forever, like as if there won't be highs, there won't be lows, and that's what the system encourages, this system of capitalism and whatnot. They're like, you have to always be consistent, as if you're a machine. You have to produce the same result, else you're not a success. You have to always be the number one with the top rating, else you failed. Like, if you have moments in your career where it has dips and it has lows and you just are not doing well as expected, that means you have failed. That means you will lose everything. This fear, this insecurity, especially if you come from a background where you struggled a lot and things were not given to you easily, and all of that, and maybe you were poor, like, so there's this sense of impermanence to wealth, to money, to success, like as if it can leave your hands any moment, that you can lose it at any moment in time. And it's scary for somebody who feels as if they've struggled all their life to get that one leg, that one foot through the door. You get? So he did that too, and he sacrificed something, and it seemed like his wife knew that she was the one that was sacrificed. Now, another thing to notice, how men sacrifice their wives. You don't have to sacrifice your wife to a cult. You don't have to give her and like go to a occultist and say, take my wife for sacrifice, which is what we actually grew up watching, that a lot of rich men, like in Nollywood here in Nigeria, tons of movies about men that wanted money so bad that they would sacrifice their wife and their children. But I think that was a concept, like a metaphor or something. Like, it was not meant to be taken literally, to get. But like, I think the producers in this country, they took it literally, because religion is just wild here. So anyways, what I'm saying, like, in this reference to this character in this movie, is like, he sacrificed his wife for his success. And we have to think about it, like, the way society works is that when a woman wants to get to that level of success, do you get, she has things that are holding her back. She has children, she has family, she has brothers and sisters, she has children, she has a husband, most importantly, most especially a husband. And a husband is supposed to be this thing that is supposed to be her support here. But when it comes to her career, She's not giving leeway at all. Her husband wants her attention 24/7, and her career also wants her to be available at all times, at all day, at on call. So like neither of them, the career and the husband, they are not right for demanding all of this of a woman, because they don't demand something like this of men. And when they demand something like this of men, instead of men to speak up against the system, they sacrifice their relationships with their families, with their wives, with their children, with any sort of person that they have, they keep close and dear. Don't know why it's so commonplace for people to lose something in the bid to be successful. It's so commonplace. It's so people say, of course, now you have to sacrifice, you have to give, something goes for something, and that is a fucking lie. Because there are people in this world that don't have sleepless nights but are successful, that don't sacrifice their relationships but are successful. There are people in this world that get everything they want without effort, without struggling. They don't sacrifice any single thing to get what they want. The idea of sacrifice is even something very illogical to them. You understand? So like, why is it that for a certain group of people, they are the ones asked to normalize suffering, to normalize sacrifice, to normalize pain, you know, just because they want to get a foot through the door? And this success that they are getting is not something that they are assured of for the rest of their lives. Yeah, it's something that they have to constantly work at to feel like they deserve it before the system's demands. Do you get? Like the system is there questioning their deservability, everything. People say things like imposter syndrome, you get? And to me, it's like, I don't know about imposter syndrome much. Like I think it goes deeper than that. There is this expectation, like we are raised to believe that we don't deserve the things that we want, that if we get the things that we need, fine, but we don't deserve the things that we want, the things that we like, things that we just have passing fancy to, because it's like that is the epitome of luxury. And to some people, luxury just translates to laziness. Luxury translates to incompetence. Luxury translates to spoiled. Do you get? And it's like, if all of that, you grow up in an environment that tells you that about simple wants, simple desires, then even when you're an adult, you know, making your own money, you're still going to feel as if you need to work you need to deserve something that you are very much qualified for. Like people will say, okay, Jack Delroy is an upstart guy. He's the one capturing people's attention. He's the one doing it. He did it all by himself. Got noticed by NBC. Like, is that not enough for him to rest on, to say, yes, I did this, I give myself credit, like I believe in myself? But no, he was scared because he has never believed in himself. And that's the thing, even if you don't believe in yourself, you are likely to achieve some modicum of success. But the thing is that, is that success the type of success that is suited to your personal alignment, or are you just meeting the expectations and demands of society in a different form? Because success, like the society will say, society put people into boxes of failure and successes. But at the end of the day, what somebody presents as that is, oh, this is a failure of this person. That person could be very, very, very okay with the situation. You know, we're all human beings. We're very different. You know, we're different. So you can't just say, like, because somebody's getting last position in school, that time when in secondary school, lots of people were like doing poorly in school, and teachers would just conclude that you even make it through JAM. That's the exam we usually take after secondary school. You make it through JAM, will you make it to your university or church? Are you sure you'll be able to study what you want to study? And then even when I was in medical school, there were some people that were like getting fours. Four is like the lowest mark, like pass mark, 4/10, you know. And me, I was getting like 7s, 8s. You know, I was really high, you know, performing. But I know that those people completed medical school. I did not. Do you understand? So like the idea of them getting fours, you know, the lecturers would say things like, you're not doing so well, you know, you need to improve, you need to do this. Meanwhile, they will not tell me I need to improve. You know, once I got an 8, they won't tell me I need to do better once I got 9, because to them that was like all they needed to see to know that I was doing well. But then was I doing well? I was not doing well. I was crashing out. I was losing my mind. But I was performing well. So like, what I'm trying to say is like the idea of like when society defines something as a success and a failure, I think we need to separate ourselves from those definitions, from those boxes, and ask ourselves like, are we really dissatisfied with our status right now, or are we just comparing ourselves, putting ourselves, trying to fit ourselves into these boxes that society has placed before us? You understand? Do I think I'm a failure, or am I just bothered by what people say about me, what people think about my status in life? Do you get? Like now, when I finished this school and I dropped out and I came back to Nigeria, yeah, when I started in a whole different course in my university, I had this pressure to perform. For me, I was like, okay, I'm just going to catch up with my mates, and do well, so well that I would not have an issue, I'll get a first class and all of that. And I did that for like 2 years. By the third year, it was just like, why am I struggling so much? Why am I trying so hard? Especially in a system that sucks, like this country's educational system sucks, especially in universities. Like the lecturers are not forthcoming on anything. They're not helping my enthusiasm. And me, I'm all about enthusiasm. If I'm not enthusiastic about something, I will not do it. Even though I can, use my own energy to do it. But if you're not enthusiastic as a lecturer, I will not put enthusiasm into studying either. I don't know. I just the way I am. So I just let it be. Like my mates were busy, like hustling for grades, connecting with teachers, all those things that lecturers will demand of you to get into the door, to pass their courses. I was not interested. I didn't even have those kind of resources, so I did not care. Eventually, I ended up with a lower grade than I was supposed to have because I didn't go to greet one lecturer like that. You get? And I didn't go to see him once, so he just marked me anyhow. And if your final year, if you get anything less than a B, you are ending up with a lower grade, because it carries out like a majority of points. So when I saw the grade overall, the final grade, I was like, "Toh, that's where my power reach." You get? And a lot of people were like, like some people I spoke to, they're like, you could have just, made an effort. I was like, I don't like lecturer number one. I don't want to make that effort number two. I don't care. But like I later started thinking about it, like, oh, I wanted to have this grade to prove something to the world, that even if I had dropped out from medical school, I was still something, and I got depressed about it after school. I'm not gonna lie, I was like depressed. I was like, I have to, I should have done more, I should have proven myself, man. Like now in this period of my life, it's like every day I question, like, why should I prove myself? If I want to make an effort, say, okay, this is what I want to achieve. Okay, but my achievement, my goal, my purpose, my motivation for that achievement, for attaining some goal, where is it coming from? Is it coming from the idea that I need to be better than somebody else? That I need to fulfill the society's demand on me to be a success? No, I'm not going to play that game. Like I said in that video that I made, why do I chase success? I've redefined success for myself. Okay, I've redefined success for myself. So those things that outwardly, I so-called don't have or don't present as, or have not attained or reached or whatever, I have let them go. Every day is a letting go process. I'm not letting. Sometimes I wake up and it's burning in my chest, and I'm like, whew, it's okay, it's okay. And because it's normal also to, you don't have to feel shame for those moments where you aspire to somebody else's type of success. You don't have to feel shame, because it's something that we're all programmed with. We're taught that this is the way to go, especially through the educational system. The educational system taught us to aspire for first. Even if in a class of 50, there's no way everybody's going to get first. And that's very normal. It's not a tell on you or the child as a, like, you're a failure because you can't get first. That's not a tell on anything. It's just a lie to fulfill the system's demand. What is that first going to do for you? There are a lot of people now, especially in the social media age, there are tons of people that did not find their footing in school, and now they are finding their own footing in social media. They are doing well on social media, they are performing well, they are enjoying what they do. Like artists now, they have different routes. You don't have to go to art school, you can just stay at home and learn. And sometimes some people stay at home and learn, build a platform, and they are earning big bucks. You get? And they are successful, they are satisfied. But way back when, they probably felt I needed to go to art school, and so people still end up going to the art school. Like there's no one way, we can't just define success as being in the spotlight and making tons of money and having a woman on your arm. Like it can't just be the same for everybody. And I feel like it was so blatantly obvious in this. Should I put on my, let me try this lipstick today, this lip gloss today. It was so blatantly obvious in the late night of the devil. That was what I wanted to say about success, that it's not, that's not the type of success that everybody needs to attain to or aspire to. His wife literally died from cancer. I'm sure it was debilitating, it was painful for his wife, and he had to watch her go through that without any sort of help. You cannot help somebody that is in that type of pain more than just to be there for them. And I'm sure he felt a lot of horror and all that. And that's why he started drinking a lot, and everything happened. And like, so everything happened. What are you going to do now? And then the so-called network is now putting pressure on you. I say you should go back to performing like a donkey. After losing your wife, like you want him to go back and start bringing numbers. That's why the system does not care about anybody. So when you start to put emotional investment into the idea of reaching the demands of the system, like, because okay, let's say, what I mean is, like, when you start to attach identity to the jobs you do, like you have a job and this job is demanding too much of you, and okay, the job now says, you now, like, the person now loses their partner, loses something dear to them, and the job is like, sorry for your loss, go back to performing like this. And it's like you are stuck in this middle place, this contradiction, where you're like, but you have lost something so dear and so near to me, but my identity is also attached to this job I do. So if I fail at the job, I've lost everything I ever had in this world. Is that not so sick and twisted? Because, like, why should your job be your identity? Why should your job be your identity? Why? It's so sick and twisted. It's not normal. It's something that everybody should actually sit down and reflect on. Like, why should your job be identity? Why do we attach identity to our jobs? You're a whole person. You were a whole person before you became that. So it just showed you how deep rooted, this whole programming, this system capitalist programming, has eaten deep into our psyches, where we cannot separate jobs from self. If we lose jobs, if we don't have jobs, we are nothing. Like, I remember 2022, 2023, I really, really went through a horrible depressive state, like the whole year. Where I was like, job, I don't have a job, I am nothing, I'm not contributing anything to society, I'm nothing, I'm horrified, life is so mean to me. Like, it was bad, though. It was really, really bad. Anyways, that's the main thing I wanted to say about Jack and his job. Like he attached identity to his job. He sacrificed the things that he loved for this said job, and at the end of the day, when he came back to himself, he saw that everybody around him was dead and he was the only one living, and police sirens were in the background. So obviously they are going to arrest him for the murder of everybody in that studio. So, like, what is the end of all of that? I know there's this horror aspect of saying, oh, you give your life to the devil's going to treat you like this, but, like, I think all of that is just symbolic of how, at the end of the day, the system will not stop until you are nothing but a shell of what you actually are. And when it is done with you, to move on to the next person, because they're going to replace the show with another person that is hungry, that wants to make it, that wants to be a success. Okay, so that was the main thing. Then the second other thing was this idea of fear, fear of the devil. Like, the title of the show is The Devil, Late Night Show with the Devil. The devil. Now, speaking about the devil for ages and centuries and time memorial has always been the enemy, the one that the one that is always haunting your waking hour, looking for you to sleep up, especially if you are religious, which is a lot of people, which is what I was. If you are religious, the devil is supposed to be this boogeyman that only God can save you from. God was trying to be like, the power of Christ compels you, and he just snapped Mr. Rigu just snapped his leg to the back. So that was also the religious aspect, where people tout religion as some kind of saving, not just religion, they make Jesus God their what do you call it, their Jesus and God is literally saviors. That's what the Christian religion teaches them. So it's like, These people come approach life thinking there's a boogeyman out to get them all the time, and they have to be alert, And it's like, fine, if there's a boogeyman out to get you all the time, why is it that your God cannot just conquer this boogeyman once and for all? Let your God conquer the boogeyman so you have peace now. And it's like, no, the point is that the boogeyman has to keep testing so that you'll be worthy of heaven. And you see, we're still coming back to this idea of worthiness. So you'll be worthy of heaven. Heaven is where you have gold, cities of gold. Now, if you go to heaven and there's gold everywhere, what are you going to do with the gold? There's nothing to buy there. You will not need anything now. So what is gold going to do to you? You've never seen gold in your life, and you've never even been able to process the value of gold in your actual living everyday life on this earth. When you see gold, do you think you're going to have any sort of treasuring towards the gold that you see around you? It will just be yellow. And it was all yellow. It will just be yellow. Just like, okay. And then what are you going to do? No mental stimulation, nothing. If that's if heaven is real. But like on the hills of heaven is real, hell, there's also hell. There's the hills of hell, and the devil is the custodian of hell, the guardian of hell, and he's there waiting for you if you slip up according to your God standard. It's like this God is not protecting you. He's not vanquishing your enemy, the devil. He's not protecting you really. He's allowing you to be tested in all shapes, in all forms, by all things, the devil does. And the only assurance you have is that you're going to go to heaven if you persevere or something. But you also don't want to die and go to heaven, because if you kill yourself, you're going straight to hell. So there's no escape, there's no salvation as long as you are alive until you are dead. But you can't seek death, because that's taking the easy way out and you'll be punished for it. And it's like, so what's the point of all of this? Now, I grew up in a different type of Christianity no Christians have a varied number of denominations. I grew up Pentecostal, MFM, Mountain of Fire. So that's where you pray the devil away, where you fight the devil in combat prayer. Like you literally fight the devil with your body, with your spirit, with your soul. Shout, you scream, you pray, and all of that. You fast, all of that, all in the bid to fight the devil. And the church is so obsessed with fighting the devil. There's no prayer that you do that you fight the devil. It's like the same fighting the devil you did as a child. You fight that devil till you are married and have children. Your children, you are taught to fight the devil again. That same devil, not another devil, the same devil. When I used to watch all these kind of movies as a child, it would be as if, yes, I need to pray harder because the devil works so sneakily, so evilly, so you can never ever figure out the devil. You need to be always on guard. So I was never really at rest. I was always on edge. I never enjoyed myself. I never enjoyed things because I was always scared that the devil was lurking in it. And this is not an exaggeration. It's just I was always like 247 on edge. So like watching this late night show with the devil, I feel like when you say late night show with the devil, in this case, I feel like Jack Delroy is the devil. You get, it was the devil reference in the title, because at the end of the day, Jack Delroy is the combination of ambition and selfishness, self-centeredness too, and just ruthless ambition that does not have a break point, that does not have a consideration for anybody else but its own goal. You get, and that is a type of devil. You get, I don't like, for me personally, the devil is not this person, this entity that is alert and sentient. The devil is literally on the inside of you. And I feel like the devil on the inside of you is something that is a combination of all things nasty. I feel those parts of yourself that work against you. Do you get those parts of yourself that make your life harder than it has to be, and you cannot stop it because you are the one doing this to yourself, holding on to beliefs, practices, programmings that have been embedded in your mind to reject yourself. Like now, the devil that I would say was on the inside of me was self-rejection, self-distrust, self-disloyalty, self-abandonment, just rejection of everything me, to put in this caricature of holiness and God and divinity and all of that, and Bible and all of that rubbish. And let's not forget pastors, because I molded myself according to every pastor I was under. School pastor, I molded myself to their expectation. Home pastor, I molded myself to their expectation. And then the overseer, the general overseer of the church, I molded myself to his expectation, even though there was no fucking way that I would ever cross paths in this lifetime probably. I molded myself to his expectation and his demands which he gives out through his tracts, through his books, through his messages, through his prayer books, all of that. So like, let's think about it. Like, that devil now told me that I cannot trust myself. So growing up, and instead of me to like think to myself like, oh, this is what I want to do in my life, I want to be an artist, I distrusted myself. I told myself, no, this voice of being an artist, you're a voice from the devil. And then my desires, the things I wanted to do with myself, I wanted to explore different things. There are different things in my heart, like even the idea of connecting with boys was categorized as devilish. Like, I could not connect with a boy because I have to connect with a boy that is holy. And how many holy boys do you know from teenagehood to adulthood? Like, you rarely see so-called church boys. And those church boys, when you're in the church, you can pick among those men that you can actually talk to. You can't talk to all the church boys. There's another rule. If you're a church girl, you know that it's not all the church boys that are normal. Is all the church boys look saintly to those people that are not used to church environment. They say the right things, they are gentle and outside, but when they are inside, we have seen them in total, and we know that it's not all of them that can be trusted. You get? So, but like, I was now sifting boys. There were opportunities for me to make connections with people, and I rejected all of them. Like, I keep thinking about it, like, why did I sabotage this person? Like, why did I sabotage this person's hand of friendship? This one was like, okay, like, I want to know you, I want to see you, I want to date you, all of this. And I was like, what church does he attend? I don't want him to talk to me like this. If we talk in class, that's okay. Don't visit me. Don't come and see me, please. Like, I actively repelled people away from me with my dressing, with my time. I dressed a certain way. There's something they call like SU here in this country, where you make sure you don't look attractive in any sort of way because you don't want men to sing when they look at you. So you actively dispel any form of self-identity, any form of self-expression that you could have had as a child growing up. I actively worked against it, and I was working against it, and it was hurting me, but I felt I was doing the right thing. So is that not the devil? Is that not the devil? And I thought that all those times my spirit would spring up with desires, with personal interest, personal expressions. I'll be like, shut up, who do you are? Like, get behind me, devil, get behind me, devil. Meanwhile, the devil was this voice that was speaking, this externality that I had propped up as self. You understand? Like, I totally abandoned myself. I feel like all of that is the devil, or was the devil. And now that I have expelled that caricature out, all the things, all the practices, all the demons, that the eggs he had laid in the inside of me is so creepy and icky, but it was my duty to sweep them out, to get rid of them. And I did that not by physical, forceful action. It was just by listening to me more. Every day I wake up, I listen to me. And it's not easy to listen to me because I'm not familiar with me. Yet I'm not that interesting to me. Sometimes I'm like, what do you want to say? Sometimes I don't listen intentionally. Sometimes I drown out the voice and the callings of me on the inside because, like, it's just too much sometimes because I'm not used to it. But every day I make it a practice to try to take a step forward, to rehabilitate, all of these whole things that I've let fester inside of me. So I don't know, I feel like I've gone off track with this, but I just want to say that, like, the devil is not some outside force creeping in the darkness. The devil is you. The devil is you. The devil is the voices in your head. The devil is the things that you have normalized. The devil is your self-rejection, your self-disloyalty. The devil is your abandonment of yourself and your own voice, and it's not the type of devil that you need to fight with prayers and fasting and more binding and casting. is something that you have to approach with absolute love, because that devil was constructed there out of what? Fear. Like the thing that Christianity teaches the most, at least my Christianity that I grew up in, was fear. Fear was the vehicle for why you had to give your life to Christ. Fear was the motivation for why you had to pray longer, fast more days. Fear was the reason why you needed to not follow your own dreams. Because what if you failed? What if God was not in your dreams and then you failed? Meanwhile, failure is very normal. It's a very normal part of the human experience. But I was not used to failure. I rejected the idea of failure. I refused to say. So I focused on this thing that I didn't want, I didn't like. Because I was like, okay, there's security, there's a God here that's going to help me. I was just so scared of trusting myself. So the antidote to fear is love. When you love yourself, when you allow yourself to love all the parts of you, even the parts of you that you rejected, that rejection, you have to love the rejection too. You can't shame yourself for all the years you've abandoned yourself and distrusted yourself, all the years you feared yourself. You can't shame yourself for that. It was not your fault. It was just what you were doing the best you know how. Do you get? And you just have to love yourself, all of it. So as I was watching it, I was just like if you like, loving yourself is going to build this self-trust in you, that even if the studio kicks me out as a big time late night show, doesn't mean I'm a failure, doesn't mean I have lost sight of who I am. And if I have lost sight of who I am, I trust love to guide me back to myself. I don't know why this video is going like this, but those are the things that just come into my head to say. And so I don't know, the whole answer to the whole late night with the devil thing is love. It's just love. I feel like love is what chases the devil away. Love gives life to everything on the inside of you that you might hide in the darkness, in the corners, and that love is you that will give it to yourself. It's not God that will give it to you, and it's not somebody that will give it to you. You are the one that will give that love to yourself. And if we grow up in an environment that teaches us that the only love that matters is love that comes from an externality, from a boyfriend, from a pastor, from a lover, from a partner, from God, not from you, then why do you start figuring out how to love? Give yourself your own, the love that you want. I feel like you just have to take it one day at a time, and because it is already natural to you, natural to everybody too, it's natural to you to have that love. Okay, everybody born into this world, it comes with that ability to love themselves. They already love themselves. It's like a given. That's why we don't notice it when it's gone, because it's just there, always available for us. So more love. Also, the idea of his wife haunting him, that's the final thing. The idea of his wife haunting him is actually just a reflection, could be a reflection of guilt. There's something about losing somebody, like losing a loved one, actually a loved one that you could not help them in any way possible. Something like cancer, like I can't speak of any experience of it, but I would imagine that him, like that dream sequence where he was watching his wife in pain, and she wanted to die, she wanted him to kill her, and I'm sure he had those moments in real life with her, and she died, and now he's seeing her ghost, he's hearing her name, and he thinks she's haunting him, and because he did so and so, because he sacrificed, instead of him to focus on his love for her and nourish his relationship because she's important to him, he sacrificed his connection with her to focus and create a connection with an audience, with his job, with his bosses. So he was definitely going to feel the guilt, and that guilt can manifest itself in the ways that we saw. It could just be a manifestation of guilt, like, oh, I wish I did more for my wife. I wish I was there for my wife. I wish we caught it early. I wish I paid so much attention to her that I was able to catch it early. Things like that could be why he saw his wife as a ghost, But because the devil had already become the devil, well, I already said what the devil is, but because the devil had already become front and center in his life, the devil is not going to help you hide from your guilt and the shadows of your shame. No, the devil is going to prop them up in front of you to cope with and deal with, even if it knows that you are not capable of doing that with him being present. So, like, you think the devil will want to be front and center to let you, hide your shame. No, it's going to prop up your failures, your so-called failures, your preconceived ideas of failures, your guilt, your ghosts, prop it up and torture it with you daily, torture you with it daily. So I guess those are, didn't go exactly as I planned. I I'm so glad I did not write, because if I had written, see how my this is just going round and round. Like, it's not going round and round, it just keeps going further and further and further. Yeah. So, anyways, love is the only thing that can set you free, and for something so wonderful as love and something so beautiful as freedom, we are taught to fear it. We are taught to run away from it. We are taught to distrust it. It takes you coming to terms with self. Come to terms with yourself first. Sit with yourself first. Ask yourself, what do I want to do with my life? Or how do I want my life to look like? Let's forget success and failure. How do I want my life to look like? And answer those questions honestly and deeply. Whatever you get, to go from there. Thank you for watching this video and enjoying this get ready with me. Now I'm going to take pictures. Even though I really don't like, it's the makeup is so subtle and light. I wanted to do something kind of horrific, to show some kind of effect, keep up with the theme of horror movie, but this is what came out, bros. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.